Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Cowboys promptly reissued DeMarcus Lawrence's number 90 to Solomon Thomas. After 11 years, 4 Pro Bowls, and 61.5 sacks with the Cowboys, DeMarcus Lawrence has signed with the Seahawks. His number, 90, remains, and it has been promptly reissued. The Cowboys have assigned number 90 to newly signed defensive lineman Solomon Thomas. The team doesn't retire numbers, and even if it did, Lawrence didn't have the kind of career that would qualify him for that consideration. But there wasn't even a short-term set-aside for the number he wore during his extended stay with the Cowboys. Lawrence stirred up a fracas with Micah Parsons last week, after declaring that Lawrence knew he'd never win a Super Bowl in Dallas. His subsequent message of positivity to the team and its fans didn't erase that. And the Cowboys were willing to quickly erase the fact that he wore number 90 for more than a decade. Thomas has worn number 94 during his NFL career with the 49ers and Jets and number 92 with the Raiders. He wore number 90 at Stanford. Number 94, worn by greats like Charles Haley and DeMarcus Ware, was previously issued to Marshawn Kneeland, a second-round pick in 2024. Number 92 was available. Cowboys news: Matt Eberflus defense coming into focus after personnel additions. In a reverse of last offseason, the Cowboys got back a defensive lineman that previously followed Dan Quinn to the Commanders. After a season in the nation's capital, Fowler Jr. opted to return to the Cowboys last week, signing a 1-year free agent contract. "It feels amazing to be back. I'm definitely happy to be here in Dallas," Fowler Jr. told DallasCowboys.com. "I'm ready to get going with the guys for sure. I'm definitely excited to be back in this defense and to help get this defense to be one of the top defenses in the league and to help the team get some wins." During his first run in Dallas, Fowler Jr. appeared in 34 games and recorded 40 tackles, 12 tackles for loss, 10 sacks, and 3 forced fumbles. In his lone season in Washington, the former 2015 first-round pick proved just how productive he can be when playing away from attention-getting players like Pro Bowlers Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence. Fowler Jr. recorded 39 tackles, 10.5 sacks, 14 tackles for loss, 20 pressures, and a pick-6 last season with the Commanders. He credited his breakout season in Washington thanks to his first run in Dallas. "It was pretty big, just to be able to go out there and show the people that I'm still here and be able to produce at a high level," Fowler Jr. said. "I felt really confident going into this season, especially with these past 2 years getting to work from Coach Aiden Durd, Micah Parsons, and DeMarcus Lawrence, with the D-line group that we had." Turnovers are once again a point of emphasis for the Cowboys defense, with a very new-look front seven to get after the ball. And attrition is at work again this year. The Cowboys had 6 defensive linemen with at least 2 sacks last year, and 4 of them are not on the team this year. DeMarcus Lawrence, free agency; Chauncey Golston, free agency; Carl Lawson, and signed; Linval Joseph, and signed. Unlike last year, the Cowboys aren't sitting on their hands in free agency to replace the players they've lost. We're only 1 week into free agency and the Cowboys have already made the following additions. Signed Dante Fowler to a 1-year deal. Signed Solomon Thomas to a 2-year deal. Signed Peyton Turner to a 1-year deal. Add in the 4-year, $80 million deal that Osa Odigizua got a week ago, and suddenly the Cowboys have some bodies. And don't forget that Sam Williams returns after sitting out all last year with a knee injury. The Cowboys have a good assortment of pass rushers, but creating pressure hasn't been the issue for this defense. Of course, it helps when you have one of the best defensive players in the league in Micah Parsons on the roster. The Cowboys have finished in the top 3 in sacks in 2 of the last 3 years. What's impressive about that stat is that one of those years was last year, where they had to reach deep down the depth chart to get help. While the pass rush was still there, the Cowboys have seen a drop-off in creating turnovers over the last 2 years. In 2021 and 2022, the Cowboys' defense led the league in takeaways, but in each of the past 2 seasons, they have finished outside the top 10. That is something the defense would love to get back. The Cowboys have completely flipped the depth chart at linebacker under Eberflus, with new additions Jack Sanborn and Kenneth Murray ready to hit the ground running. "I feel like we've got every piece that we need to be a dominant defense in the NFL," Murray said. "Just looking at our personnel, we're going to be a really fast defense, a really violent defense." That identity falls right under the umbrella of what new defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus is looking for. Sanborn spent the first 3 years of his NFL career with Eberflus and now Cowboys linebackers coach Dave Borgonzi in Chicago, and he knows exactly what to expect now that they've all reunited again. Both are great coaches, and both are great defensive minds. "I think that is one thing that stood out for me with my time in Chicago, and at the same time just both great people that you want to play for, and two people that kind of get the best out of me," Sanborn said. "I really enjoyed working with them. I'm excited to work with them more and have a great defense here." When Eberflus defenses have been at their best in the past, they specialize in being able to stop the run and take the ball away. Turnovers have been a staple of the Cowboys' defense in recent years, but they've struggled to stop the run, finishing 29th in the league last season and have not finished top 10 in the league since 2018 in the run defense category. Sanborn thinks all that will change soon. "Being aggressive, one of the big things is he wants to stop the run," Sanborn said. "I think being aggressive, being physical, flying around to the football, tackling well, and we've got to get the football taken away from opposing offenses, and that's what he harps on and is something he wants to get accomplished." Cowboys RB radar suddenly includes Skatebo in NFL draft. Months ago, many pegged Boise State star running back Ashton Jeanty as a lock to the Dallas Cowboys in the NFL draft. Once the season ended, many mocks reflected that trendy connection. After all, Jeanty, a Frisco native, fit the apparent need in the team's backfield. A college football dynamo seemed the perfect resolution for Jerry Jones and company in round 1. Flash forward past the frenzy of free agency and now that is far from the case. Jeanty could be coming off the board before the Cowboys make their first selection and Dallas may have their sights set on a number of other targets. Signings of running backs Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders contribute to that change. In fact, the development of a new committee may push back the pursuit of an early round selection at the position altogether. But there is a clear need for the Cowboys to add some youth at the position and at least experiment with the contingent at hand. Using one of their selections, Arizona State's Skatebo could be an option worth considering for Dallas. Skatebo has seen his draft stock skyrocket since the final stages of the season. The Sun Devils' defeat in the Peach Bowl proved his coming-out party and showcased his glaring versatility. Skatebo is an extremely strong and physical runner but able to make plays both in the run and the pass. That skill set still has him lurking outside the top 10 of running back prospects in his class despite a recent meteoric rise. So what are the benefits for Dallas here in taking Skatebo? The Cowboys have seemingly organized a backfield committee again, but for the second straight season, one of the additions may have little tread left on his tires in Sanders. It is possible he finds a boost in a new environment with the Cowboys, but probably more likely that a younger back with a more vast skill set could usurp him on the depth chart. Williams has shown flashes in his time with the Denver Broncos but does not have the makings of a bona fide number 1 back. Altogether, there is opportunity for Dallas to get a steal with a rising prospect still somewhat flying under the radar. This will be one of several major draft day decisions in store for the Cowboys, but a major opportunity if they can hit on a player like Skatebo later in the draft. And you fan? What do you think about Skatebo's situation? Write to us in the comments.